Okay, so welcome back, students. This is yet another session of basics of Excel. Continuing from where we left, uh, we will today be covering functions in Excel, that is sum, average, max, minimum, and count. We will also try and cover some part of formatting, and then probably this should be covering a lot of the basics of Excel. So here is the same data set and the same video. We'll be continuing, and I will be stopping wherever required and working on this data sheets which we have prepared, and we will be working ahead on this data sheet only. Okay, so yeah. uh,
of Excel for Beginners, the complete course, we're going to focus on functions. And many users of Excel constantly confuse formulas and functions. You'll even find those mistakes in other videos on YouTube. But there's a definite difference between the term function and formula in Excel. And the first function that I want to teach you is sum. Let's say I want to add up all of the hours worked and all of the taxable income to be paid to the employees. I could just browse down the sheet here to the bottom of the data. Column D has the hours worked, and I'll click here in D72 and type equals. Again, thinking in my head, D72 equals, and then I'll use my first function, sum. Now, as soon as I start typing a word in that cell, Microsoft Excel searches its database of functions and tries to find the function that I might be looking for. And there it is, it's sum. So Excel is suggesting to me that that might be the one to use. It tells me what it does. It adds all of the numbers in a range of cells. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. But it's possible that I might want this, sum if, or sum ifs, sum product. There's all of these different functions that deal with sums. And some of these are amazing. You definitely need to watch my other tutorials on sum if and sum ifs. Sum product is also great. But in this case, all I want to do is add up all the numbers in a range of cells. So equals sum. And when you use a function in Excel, after typing the function, you put in a left parenthesis. As soon as I do that, Excel gives me a pop-up with some suggestions. It's trying to help me and guide me in writing a good formula using this sum function. So Excel is expecting to have a number and then a comma and another number. So I could put in a number and then another number to be added together. Let's say 5, 6, and then I should put in my right parenthesis, although it's not necessary. And then I could tap enter and it adds those two together. But in this case, I don't want to add 5 and 6. I want to add this entire column. So how do I describe this entire range of numbers that I want to add up? Well, if you remember, we can describe a range by using the top left corner and then the colon and then the lower right corner. In this case, it's all just in one column. So D2, and then I'll go back down here. So D2 and then the colon, so through. I want to sum D2 through D71. I should put in a right parenthesis, but I don't have to. I'll tap enter on the keyboard. There's the grand total hours worked by the employees. Let's look at another way to do the same thing. Instead of typing the cell references, I could just say this cell and type equals sum left parenthesis, and then I could have clicked and dragged to select the entire range, all of the numbers that I want to add up, and then back down in my formula, I could have tapped enter and gotten the same results. Now, because the sum function is so common in Microsoft Excel, they've added what's called the AutoSum function. So instead of even typing that formula at all, I can just select the cell beneath the data that I want to sum up. And then I simply go here to the Home tab, Home ribbon. In the editing group, this symbol stands for AutoSum. So I'll click that, and Excel automatically figured out what I want to add up, D2 through D71. Tap enter, and it's done. So in many cases, AutoSum is the fastest, best way to do that. At this point, I probably should type something here like totals, colon, and maybe I could click on it and go to the Home tab, font group, and make it bold. maybe I go to the alignment group and change it to be aligned right. And now I could do the same formula, auto sum, for taxable income. Or instead of redoing the formula, I'll just click on D72 and I'll use the autofill handle to scoot that over and the formula adjusted. Because these are relative cell references, they don't have dollar signs. When I autofilled it over to the right, those cell references adjusted and it worked beautifully. In addition to the sum function, there are some other functions that are pretty common and important. For example, we can calculate the average.
Okay, so you would have seen he's doing the sum functions, and there are three ways to do it. So let's now come to our sheet. As he had told, we'll go down. We want the sum of the taxable income. So here I will just delete it. Okay, so it says that okay, we are doing as he did for the D column D, and there are three ways to do it. Firstly, he was mentioning sum, and then he typed D2 colon D71. That is one way of doing it. Apparenthesis means basically close brackets in simplified language, and here you see 9367, and that's what he's done here, 9367. You can see it, you can match it, and then let's go to our original sheet also, where you can see 9367. I'm marking it in yellow for you to get it better. Another way that he had mentioned was that you can drag and pull it up, so you can say equal to sum, open brackets, and then just drag this till where we want the sum to be. So this is the sum of hours worked, so he dragged it, and you say enter. As you see, the result is same, 9367, same thing, 9367. Okay, I hope it's all clear till now. There is another way that he had mentioned, auto sum, which is basically a shortcut. So if you see here on the right hand side, it says auto sum. It generally understands that what is the most logical sum that anyone would be wanting to do here. So he is putting auto sum, and here the same results as 9367. The same thing, this is the hours worked. Same thing we want to do with taxable income. So we go here and do the same function, or as he told, we can just click here and take it here, and it comes 1,42,794. As you can see here, 1,42,000. So we are right on track. And then finally, taxes to be paid. Same thing we can do. Click here. Either you can use the other three ways, or you can just drag it here, and it comes 9,995, and this is our sum. I hope it's clear with you guys, and you all are here with me. What he had also done was mention totals. So these are we will also put in totals, colon, and you can align it the way you want. So you have left aligned, right aligned, or central aligned. In this case, he's done right aligned. So this is what the sum is. So let me highlight it so that it is clear to you guys and you are following with me. Open your sheet in a tab and keep following this video. You can also, if you are comfortable now, you can go and open the video link and do it yourself. So I hope total is good for you so far, and we are on the right track. Now coming to the average, let's go and see how he has done average.
Average, let's do that. With cell D73 selected, I'll type equals, this cell equals, average, And you can see that I do get similar helps as I did with sum. Excel explains what this is. It also can tell me about these other average functions, but I'll stick with the generic average. Now that I've put in a function, I need to put the left parenthesis, and I'll put in my range, D2 through D71. Tap enter on the keyboard. There is the average number of hours worked by this group of employees in the last month. I can autofill that to the right, and there we have the average taxable income. Now, if you remember, we set up a named range for the data here in taxes to be paid. Let's look at how named ranges work with formulas and functions. So here on F.
Just to stopping here, you don't have to get into that as of now, the name range, and he had named a table. So let's avoid that for now. You can just focus on the functions that we are doing, that is total and average.
72, I'm going to say to myself, F72 equals the sum of, and I'll put in a left parenthesis. It's looking for a number. I'm just going to type in taxes owed, and then I'll put in my right parenthesis. And notice Excel recognizes taxes owed. Oh, you want to add up all of the taxes owed. And Excel knows what that means because I named that range. So now when I tap enter, it just automatically sums up everything in the taxes owed range. I can do the same thing with average. So F72 equals average, left parenthesis, taxes owed. Tap enter, and it figures it out. Let's look at three other important and common functions in Microsoft Excel. We're going to calculate the highest hours worked, the lowest, and then also we're going to count the number of employees. So here, I'll type highest, lowest, and number of employees. Okay, how am I going to figure this out? If I want to know what the highest amount of hours worked was out of all of these employees, and I also want to know the highest taxable income of all of these employees, there's got to be a good way to do that in Excel that's easier than just scanning and looking for the highest number. Fortunately, there is. There's a function called max. So in my head, I'll...
Okay, now let me see how smart we are. So before they explain, let's try and do it ourselves. And I want you guys to also follow it with me. So coming to our practice sheet, now it says highest. So let's go and mention here highest. So it says max. So equal to max, as you see there, max, and the range that we are looking at. Okay, so here I'll use the drag way of doing things. So let's drag it. If it's a small data set, you can drag it, but sometimes when the data set is big, I suggest you use the column numbers. So here if you see 208 is the max. Let's find out where it is. Here you go, this is the max. Okay, and that's what we have got as max. You can cross check for your reference. Same thing, we'll just drag this to the right and you are boom, this just is so good, right? So now let's say minimum, or you can say lowest, and I guess you would have already guessed it, equal to minimum, min. Let's see, yes, we have a minimum min. So this time we'll use D2 to D71, right? And close brackets, enter. 69, is it correct? Let's go and check. Okay, so where is 69? Can we look for 69? Here you go, this is 69, and let's mark that as well. Okay, so we have a max, we have a min, and for all the three columns, you have maximum hours worked, maximum taxable income, and maximum taxes to be paid. So it's pretty cool, right? Next, we will go to, I think we have not done the average, which I guess he has done it earlier. So let's insert a column, insert a row here, and we'll say average of the various columns that are there with us. So as he had told, equal to average, there you go, average, and then again I'll use the typing way of doing it, D2 to D71, and it will give us the average. So if you can, let's go and check if our average is correct. Yes, 133.814. The same here, 133.814. Right, this is our practice sheet. We are right on target. We hold this and drag it to the side. I hope it's clear. We are on track. Total, average, highest and lowest. Next, let's see what he has to say.
I'll think D74 equals max, left parenthesis, and then I just need to describe the range of cells to look in. I want to find the highest number, the max number in this range, D2 through D71. I should put in my right parenthesis, but I don't have to. Tap enter, and the highest number of hours worked in this month by this group of employees is 208. I can autofill that over to the right. And I'll just go to both columns now, to the right. And now we know the highest taxable income amount and the highest amount of taxes due. Let's do the same with lowest. I think to myself, cell D75 equals, instead of max, I'm going to put min. And you can see Excel's giving me hints, giving me suggestions. Min returns the smallest number in a set of values. It ignores logical values and text. So equals min, left parenthesis, D2 through D71. Tap enter, and there's the lowest amount of hours worked. I use the autofill handle to extend it over to these other columns of data. Our last common function that I'm going to show at this point in the video is count. I want to count the total number of employees. Now you might be saying, don't we already have that? Yes, we do.
Okay, let's do that again before him. We go here and we say number of employees, right? So we just need the total number of employees. So all we have to do is count these, all the columns, how many rows are there, that nothing but how many. So we say count. Again, I double clicked it. So D2 colon D72, and we say hit. Let's see if it comes correct. 71. What does our original say? It says 70. So where did we go wrong? Let's see what the video says. Okay.
It's right here. But in some cases, you don't have that, or you want to count different parts of a spreadsheet. So it's important to know this. In my head, I think D76 is equal to count. And there are different types of counts. Count A, count ifs.
So I think what I went wrong is that instead of D70, I have to put D71 and I put D72 right here. If you see, I'll put D71 and 70. Then we are right. Yes, we are. So as you can see that we just need the count or number of people who are there. So it's basically nothing but the total filled thing. Let's see if we can do by changing this to, by checking with the names, if it allows us to do, let's say B2 to B71. Does it count? No. So it takes the numbers only. So it is not allowing us to count the names via names, and we have to do it through D only. Okay. So let's go by D2 to D71. Okay, hence we get 70, right? So that's what we have done it before him, and I guess you guys are also following with me. Okay, next, let's see what he has to say.
Definitely watch my other videos on those different functions. But for now, just count. And you can see what it does. It counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. So left parenthesis, once again, D2 through D71, right parenthesis, tap enter, and it counts up 70 different cells in that range that have numbers. If I wanted to, I could autofill this over, but it's just going to give me 70 again. So those are the 5 or 6 most commonly used functions in Microsoft Excel. If you want to learn more functions in Excel, check out my other videos. I have lots and lots of different functions that I show in those other tutorials, and there's more to come in the future. In this next segment, we're going to focus on how to modify the formatting in the spreadsheet, including how to format numbers and text. We'll also look at formatting cells, rows, and columns, and a couple of tricks that will help you do your formatting more effectively. We're going to format some of these numbers. Notice that it's hard to tell the difference between money, dollars in this case, taxable income, and just regular hours worked. They all just look like numbers.
Okay, now we have successfully finished, if you can see, functions, formulas, and now we are moving into formatting. So what he is going into is formatting cells, making it look more attractive, make it look more sensible. So I guess you guys are in the right direction, and let's see what all formatting things he does.
So let's change the formatting so it's obvious what we're dealing with. To do this, I'm going to click on column C. It's going to select the entire column. And then here on the Home tab, Home ribbon, in the number group, I can change the formatting. Right now, it's just general formatting. That's the default. But if I click on this arrow, I can change this to be currency. Now you can clearly tell the difference between the data in column C and the data in column D. Now, there are times when instead of using currency as the number format, you might want to use accounting. Let's look at the difference. When I click on accounting, I still get the dollar sign. I still get commas and decimals for the cents, but the dollar sign is separated from the numbers. I think it just makes it a little easier to see the numbers without getting confused by the dollar sign.
Okay, so let's see, can we do this? So we'll go hourly wage. We are Indians, so let's go by currency. In this case, it's rupee. So there you see, it's automatically picked up rupee for me. You can basically see here. Here is where you can also change. I can change it into dollars. Okay, so just mark it here. I want to change the currency into say dollars. Here you see dollars. You want to go to British pounds, it comes British pound. I'll switch it back to rupees. Okay, so 1 second. So this is the rupee part. Now again, taxable income. Let's see if it has accounting, what he's talking. Yes, so same thing. He has basically told that when you put rupee or a currency, the rupee mark is there right in front, whereas if you choose for accounting, the rupee sign is separated a bit away from the actual amount. Let's move ahead and see what else he's doing.
So those are two different ways to indicate that we're dealing with money in these columns. Same with this one here. I'll switch that also to accounting. Now there are other number formats that you should look into, including dates and times, percentages, fractions, and more. Watch my other tutorials to learn more about the different number formats. What about text formats? I could just leave my text as general format, or I could go down here and select text. And in Excel, by default, when you have text entered in a cell, it will align to the left of the cell. So all of this text is aligned to the left. If Excel interprets what you type as numbers, generally speaking, it will align to the right in the cell. So you can see all of these numbers are aligned to the right. These names are aligned to the left. But you can change some of that if you want using the alignment options and also by changing the number or text formats. There are also some more formats. You can click here to see what those are. You can set up some custom formats. There's different time and date formats that are worth checking out. I'm going to cancel, and let's look at some other ways that we can format our data, and especially let's look at how to format columns and rows in Excel. Let's say I want to format.
So I guess that is more of the theory part, and you guys are doing the Coursera course, or you guys are doing the Udemy course, which will help you pick up these theory parts. I'm just moving ahead fast so that on the real side of things and actual solving data sets, it gets us to do things practically.
This entire first row so that everything in that row is bolded. I think that's a good idea in this case because I'd really like to set apart that row so that people can tell it's not really part of the actual data. These are column titles or labels. So having selected row 1, I'm going to click on the Home tab, Home ribbon. In the font group, I'll just click on this bold symbol. Now that entire row is bolded. And if I were to go to, let's say, cell I1, and if I type something there, you can see that it comes in bold, formatted just like the rest of this row. Other ways that I could format rows include changing the alignment.
Okay, so I am stopping here, and since he's not doing any more numbers, it is just the cosmetic changes that he'll be suggesting. I will suggest go ahead and watch this video, do the changes, and prepare a very nice looking sheet for yourself. And I'm hoping that you guys are following me with me, and I'm going very slow as of now. Later we'll pick up our pace, and there are lot of complex things that has to be done. So if you have any questions, I'll be announcing a webinar or an online class where you guys can come and share your thoughts and share how you have done the sheet. I will also ask some students to come and do practical things there. I'll ask them to do some actual calculations and use functions and formulas which have been mentioned here. So we will have a session all around this, and I will take up the creating and editing charts in the next session. I guess we have I guess it's a long video for now, so I am hoping that you guys are with me so far and finding all these online classes or digital way of learning fruitful. So looking forward to hear from you, and hoping that you guys are finishing your assignments and moving along with me. Thank you again. Have a good day.